Have you?
Same here. I am glad to be on this show this afternoon.
We hope I'm clear.
I didn't get that.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly now.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good
Welcome. I'm
afternoon.
happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me
Thank you
on your
for
show too.
thank you for honoring my invitation. I'm really happy to have
Yeah,
you
yeah. The
here.
invitation is worth honoring. It's really worth honoring. Thank you for the platform too.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. We are back to we are live now. Let me check if we are live. I want to
Okay.
confirm it.
Okay.
Just hold on a sec.
Okay.
Okay, we are live.
Okay.
Okay. Um, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Umeh Collins Ebube, and here is my guest, Sister Olubukola R.B Agbalaya. Did I pronounce that name well? Agbalaya.
Okay. There was a day I was in a training session and I pronounced the name. And a Yoruba woman came to me and said, "No, you did pronounce that name well. You cannot even pronounce your name." You need to see how embarrassing that was. So, in truth, native names are kind of, I wouldn't say difficult, but they have these features you need to be careful of when pronouncing them. So, it is rightly pronounced Agbalaya.
Agbalaya. Agbalaya.
Yes.
Me, I thought Aya is like the mind, heart. Aya.
Yes, yes,
Omodi.
it's
When
like
you
the yes.
when the Yoruba will say Omodi Naya gan, Onaya gan, like the person
Exactly.
have mind.
You're really trying. You're really trying about Yoruba. You're really trying with
Oh,
Yoruba. Yes,
thank you.
it's
Okay.
Aya could mean the chest. It could also mean bravery. Bravery. But now the name
Bravery.
is a royal name and it means bravery also.
Okay, okay. So what is the full meaning of that ROB?
Okay, the
ROB.
R there stands for Rukoya. I am a Muslim.
Require.
Yes, it
Okay.
stands for Rukoya. Well, the B there stands for Bridget. Bridget. In fact,
Bridget.
most of my clients, old clients anyway, they know me as Bridget because that used to be my social media handles before I changed the arrangement into Olubukola R.B Agbalaya.
Okay. Bridget. That is that an English name? Bridget.
Yes, it
Oh,
is. It's
okay.
it's it's an English name, but historically it's not an English name.
Hmm. Really? I've
Yes.
not heard people because the name is not that popular. I've not heard most people that, but I've heard that name
Uh,
once, maybe in a movie.
yes, yes, it's not a popular name. Unlike Bukola, Bukola is very popular. But Bridget is not a
Ah,
popular name, but it is an English name.
okay. Okay, let me read about Sister Olubukola R.B Agbalaya. I want to read what I have here. You know,
Okay.
it's me. You know what? Where will I start from? Okay, the Dishon Queen, Sister Olubukola R.B Agbalaya. She's differently. I mean, she's different. She's differentiated by her expertise, combined with her ability to get into your mind before your head. She is the founder of Fluent Speech Educational Consult, a speech and reading organization that helps professionals and individuals on their speaking and reading skills. Before devoting full time to Fluent Speech Educational Consult, Olubukola served as a phonics and diction instructor at different speech hubs that consult for top schools within Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Ogun State. Olubukola has written 4 books ranging from worksheets to teacher's guide. Her last book, Speak It Right, is an audio book. She has trained hundreds of professionals online and offline. In adding to being an illusionist, am I pronouncing that way? Illusionist, right?
Elocutionist.
Elocutionist.
Yes.
Okay. In addition to being an elocutionist, she is an audiobook narrator and a reading and learning specialist. She enjoys helping children and adults with reading difficulties to become fluent in a space of few months. What is more, she is a voiceover artist. You're a voiceover artist, wow, as well as a master of ceremonies. Olubukola is a member of the Young African Leaders Initiative. In her personal time, she enjoys laughing, reading, dancing, even though she doesn't dance well, and listening to music. She loves to sing along while listening. Wow, Sister Olubukola, welcome here. I'm happy to have you here. Good afternoon once again. Welcome. Good afternoon. Are we ready? Shall we go for today's show? Welcome to UC Media. I'm the founder of UC
Afternoon
Media.
too.
So I want to use this platform to educate people, inspire people, teach people there are different activities that will be happening on this my show. So I
Yes.
love education. So that's why I say you should be
Okay.
here because there are many people that are ready to learn from you. Okay. So today I would like to ask the first question will be how and why did you start your brand, Fluent Speech Consulting? What's the story behind it?
Okay. That's a wonderful story. A wonderful question, rather. A story I would like to share over and over and over again. It all started after my journey to high school or university or college, as you might want to call it. Then I studied engineering. And after then, what happens every day, what we see, the usual happened. There was no job, nothing to do. So a friend of mine talked me into going for a speech course, enrolling on a speech course at a speech institute. So at first I was adamant. I was like, no, because I don't even know what speech means at that time. So luckily for me, the particular speech institute he wanted me to enroll on said, okay, they're coming to Badagry. They're coming to a resort place at Badagry. So I was glad. I thought, okay, let me join them. Let me see how they converse, how they talk, how they narrate to each other, and see if it is something I want to do. So I met them at Badagry Beach, then Sultan Beach, actually. So I met them, and when I got there, I was so impressed at how they sound, how they communicate with each other. It was mesmerizing. So before you knew it, I fell in love. And I remember when I was young, I used to suffer self esteem because at some point, because first, my parents live in an area where the people there are always very selective of friends. They have two basic criteria to pick you as the child's friend. The first is neatness, how you look. The second is how you speak. So when my dad was very available, readily available, then we used to speak right, good English, I and my brother and I, until my dad went for his master's and my mom she can't speak good English, so it affected our English then. So before knew it, we lost our friends. We had no friends. We were always alone. I would always cry to mom, see then, mommy, I don't have friends. And my mom would keep praying, forgetting that not everything God will do for you. There are some things you need to pray about, and you still need to work while you're praying. So she was praying, but she wasn't doing the work of helping us improve our English, because the children around there, it's always English, English, English. So we had no friends. So from that time, I had this self esteem in me because I couldn't say what I want to say. I have ideas in my mind, but I don't know the right way to say them. Even when I try to say them, I fear that someone will judge me and I will be judged wrongly. So the moment I saw them, I was so impressed that, wow, this is what I had always wanted, to be able to speak like this, to speak well, to be able to communicate my thoughts and all of that. So I fell in love with them immediately. And boom, I had to start my course with them. So along the line, I started, then an unspeakable event happened. My mom had an accident and it actually affected a whole part of a physical appearance. She couldn't move for some months and on like that. So I had to stop work, I had to stop studies, I had to stop everything I was doing to attend to her as the first child of the family. I hope my story is not boring you. I actually love to
No,
share
no,
this
no.
story. Okay, then.
No, your story is not
So,
boring. It's inspiring.
okay, thank you. So then, after some time, I realized, oh, Bukola, you are at rock bottom already. You need money to make things happen. It shouldn't just be that footing all the bees, it's not convenient, we don't have enough, on and on like that. So I thought, what can I do? While I was growing, there was no skill. I didn't learn any special skill, maybe catering or fashion design or anything. None. I never had any. And also, then technology is not this rampant, though it is there, but most of us, we don't even know what it is because we don't even have access to it. So then I thought, what can I do? What can I do? What can I? Then I remembered, oh, you learned speech transition. You have an idea of what it is. You can do it. And that was how I kickstart. However, at that point, I had no certificate to even use to cover the little knowledge I had. So I thought, oh, without certificate, what would happen? No one would allow you to take their school. They would not trust you, stuff like that. But while I was afraid, while I was criticizing myself, I just had to get up and do it. So I did it afraid. I've heard lots of motivational speakers say things like, do it afraid, even when you're scared, keep doing it and you keep improving. And alas, that was how I started. And I started with a school that offered to pay me 8,000 naira termly. We have 3 months in a term, and they are to pay me 8,000 naira for 3 months. At that point, that
8,000
sounded,
naira.
yes,
Wait, 8,000
for a
naira. Which year
term.
was that? Which year?
That was 2000 and no, 2000 and I finished 2013. That was about
It's
2009,
been
18. Yes, 2018.
it's been long. It's been long.
It's been
Okay.
long, yes. That was
I was thinking maybe it's
2018.
something
2018,
2020.
2019, about that
Okay.
time. So
Okay.
before you
No
knew it,
problem.
I had to start. Yes, I started with them. And while I was working, they were paying me 8,000 naira. I was learning as well because, of course, there were a lot of things I didn't know when it comes to this skill or this craft at that time. And of course, there were little I knew that is worth teaching other people to know. That was what kicked me to start. That was what pushed me. So I started, and even though that money was peanut, it was a major salary, I still took it upon myself to develop myself from that money. So I can remember at that time I enrolled for a course, a mentorship course for a year, and I was meant to pay 150,000. And I told the coach, I earned just 8,000 naira for 3 months. How do you want me to pay? But thank God for him. It was like, okay, don't worry, you can do this. And sincerely, I did it. And from that point, I've been growing and growing and growing. Then it got to another point where I felt, okay, I think a whole lot of people want this, number one. The number two, I think this is what I want to do also, because then at that point when they were paying me 8,000 naira, I've heard words like talent, purpose, fulfillment, all of those words. I've heard them countless times. But in actual fact, I didn't know the meaning. You go on Facebook, sometimes you just hear someone talking about, do you know your purpose? How do you know your purpose? Or how do you harness your talent to make money? At those years then, I still didn't know. I don't understand what they were talking about. In fact, I had to enroll on about two courses about talent and purpose. It wasn't still clear. So what I did then was I would always enroll on anything I see. I remembered I learned barbing. I learned tailoring. I learned photo. I learned almost everything learnable. And my brother one day said,
Uh-uh.
you want to learn everything. You don't even know what you're doing. And I told him, I said, yes, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to find what I love. Because at that point, I cannot even say this was my talent. I cannot even tell you this was what I liked. I was so naive and so knowledgeless that I didn't know what I wanted to do. So while I was teaching diction and earning 8,000 naira and phonics, then I was also doing other things, learning barbing, learning photography, and on and on and on and on. Then one day, while I was practicing all of them, I remember I learned skin therapist, how to make body cream. Like I'm laughing at myself
Wow.
right now. Yes, I still have the
Wow. Wow.
notebook here. Like I learned a whole lot of things, and at some point I realized that I actually love teaching. I love the fact that a child that cannot read before, after some months, after spending some months with them, they can read. And to me, it was like magic. It was a miracle. And I was loving the feeling. I also love the fact that the parents then, they were so appreciative. Because they come to you and they tell you, wow, Miss Bridget, I'm happy. My child can read now. I remember I had a particular child then, the child was 3 years. The child was doing well, but mother expected so much from this child. And I told the mother, you're expecting so much from him. He's doing well for his age. But the mother said no. Should I say fortunately or unfortunately, I started working with that child and I could see tremendous results. And the mom was like,
Wow.
wow, this is a miracle. And I told myself, I think this is what I'm called to do. Plus the fact that when
That's
I'm
the purpose.
sleeping, exactly. Plus the fact that when I'm sleeping and you wake me up to teach, without giving me a topic, I flow so easily. My sister would say, "Toba ti rejo o ti tan." That means once you're talking, you're done. Even if you're hungry, just keep talking. You won't get tired of talking. So don't let me bore you with my story because I love talking. So that was how I found my purpose, my talent, and all that I needed to be someone that I thought, okay, I could do more. And that was how we started Fluent Speech Educational Consult without any capital. In fact, I started with zero capital. So I
Wow.
think that story is has answered your question.
Yes, yes. Wow, wow. With zero capital. You started with zero capital.
Yes,
Nothing, nothing.
exactly. Exactly.
Wow, wow, wow. So this thing still happen to today. Somebody can start a
Yes, it
business
does.
with zero capital.
Yes,
Wow,
it
thank you
does.
for that.
It does.
It's really
You're
inspiring.
welcome.
Like you really tried. That means you have patience. You know when they say how did they say it in English? Patient dog eat the fattest bone. Even you, as you were confused, but you were still finding your purpose, doing many things.
Exactly.
As a female, doing barbing, this cream
Yes,
stuff
yes, I
and
do
everything.
barbing.
It's not
I
easy.
bet I
You know,
have
some
two
people like
clippers at home. I have two people at home. Yes, I'm waiting for that day that I'll get married or I'll find the love of my life and I'll say, okay, I will be your baba. Don't worry.
oh,
Because
oh
sincerely,
wow, wow, your
I
husband
can
won't spend money
remember.
outside again.
Of course, we'll save that money
Your
for
husband won't
something
spend
else.
money for barbing again. Even your
Exactly.
children. That means it's possible you can still open a barbing salon company.
Of
You just be the
course, of
managing director
course.
there.
Of
So
course. I
that
learned
knowledge is not a
barbing, I
waste.
learned manicure, pedicure, and I look forward to a day where I would have outlets where they give people those services, where people could come in, look good, and when you're going, they feel, wow, I'm being transformed. You know, when we talk about impacting and transformation, it's not just on education. There are a whole lot of other places where you could impact people. Like what we are doing right now, this platform is a platform to impact people, to transform lives.
Yes,
A lot of stories have been shared on your
yes,
platform, and one or two persons would have found that inspiring and enough to push them to take that next step they wanted to avoid at the first place. So it shouldn't just be on education. We transform people when we make their hair, when we help them look good, on and on like
yes,
that.
yes. Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Like
You're welcome.
even me, I've not me that I'm a male self, I've not learned barbing. But I see people barbing, I was like, I wanted to learn barbing. There was a time I wanted to learn barbing. I was like, I was just procrastinating that I will do it. But at last I did not do it. Now look at
You
me here.
couldn't do it.
But it's a good skill. It's a good skill. Because that
Yes,
Bible,
it
it
is.
will, like me, I was thinking if I want to go to university, I need to learn Bible in case if I don't have cash when I'm broke, can I just come out and say, oh yeah, come and Bab, 200, 200. People will gather. I can't go to
Exactly.
salon where they'll be collecting 300. If I'm collecting 200
Yeah,
or 150, you will see friends, they will say, go and meet
that's a
Collins,
very
go
good
to his
one.
room.
That that is a very good one.
That
My
was why I
sister was
love
sharing with
Bible.
me. That is a very good one. Very good one.
Thank you. Okay, let me ask the second question. So I won't waste much of our time because
Okay.
I have many things to do here today. And I want to laugh.
Okay.
I also want to learn at the same time. Hmm. Number
Okay.
two, how how would you help children, teachers, and parents with reading books for ease of learning?
Okay. When it comes to helping children read, because whether you're a teacher, you're a parent or guardian, the end result most times when it comes to reading is helping the young children read. And when it comes to that, the first thing that usually crosses my mind is interest. That is the first thing for me. In my opinion, the first thing you need to help get is interest. If a child is not interested in anything, no matter how fun or how well you do that thing, you might not get results. So the first thing I would say is, as a parent, as a teacher or a guardian, and you want to help a child to read or to read easily, you need to help them create that interest. You need to arouse their interest. And how do you arouse their interest? There are different ways, but I'll just share a few. One of the first way to help a child, let's even say a baby now, to arouse its interest or his interest when it comes to reading is read to them. And I have seen many
Read to them.
people even read to themselves. They read to themselves and they don't even enjoy it. I've seen
Hmm.
people, adults, they read to themselves. They pick their book, their Bible, and they're reading. They themselves, they're not enjoying it. So if
Wow.
you cannot read to enjoy, then you cannot read to help a child
To
enjoy, or you cannot
understand.
help a child arouse his interest to enjoying reading or to want to always read. So the first thing is interest. And how can you do that? How can you read in a way that it arouses a child's interest? Or how can you even read to yourself and the child watching you will feel, wow, I think daddy is enjoying this. Let me join him.
Hmm.
How? The first
Wow.
thing you need to do, which is very, very, very important, is when you are reading, whether you're reading in your mind, some of us, we could read in such a way that we read in our mind. For some people, like the last baby in the house, when she's reading, everybody in the house cannot sleep. She reads out. So we have different people, different ways of reading. None is bad. It depends on what work for you. I've heard people say when you read out, you would not understand, you can assimilate. That is not always true. For some people, when they read in their mind, they are only reading, they would not understand. And why for some people, it is when they read out that they get to grasp whatever it is they have read. So please, if your child is reading out, the question you should ask before you tell that child not to read out is he or she understanding what he is reading? And also you could find out by asking questions, by testing the child's knowledge of what he is reading at that moment. Now back to the question. So the first way you could help a child to be aroused or to enjoy reading is when you are reading, please be dramatic about it.
Hmm.
Be dramatic about it. I have a book here. So for example, you want to read something. So you go, once upon a time, Ada sat it at the market. Then an old woman suddenly came and see Ada. That child will be bored. I will be bored. Now you want to take that
Yes.
same thing in a dramatic way. Once upon a time, an old woman. Have you seen an old woman before? She's walking like this. The old woman went to see Ada. Have you heard the name Ada before? Can you remember her neighbor? Her name is Ada. She sat
Hmm.
at the market. Yes, we went to the market yesterday to buy yam. Can you remember? What again did we buy? You're not just reading to the child now. You're making the child see like he or she is watching a movie or like he or she is listening to music. I can remember my
Yes,
dad,
you're creating
sometimes
the
when we're
imagery.
talking, Exactly. Be dramatic about it. Don't just use a monologue and just read and read and read, and the child is like, I can't wait for you to be finished. I need to go. No, we shouldn't be like that. Sincerely, that's what I see most teachers do in class. That's what I see most parents do in class. And they want these children to love reading. It doesn't work like that. And the truth is, this can
Yeah.
work for any genre of literature, whether it's drama, whether it's
Poetry,
poetry, anything,
prose.
whether you're even reading a
Wow.
newspapers or a cartoon. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you arouse your child's interest to make that child love to pick up a book. The moment a child loves to pick up a book, then that child will be ready, will be willing and committed to want to read or to want to always have books with them. Now, the second thing that we need to do, apart from arousing their interest, which is also very important, is parents, especially parents. Please, you need to stop collecting books from your 3 year old, your 4 years old child, your 2 years old child, or your 6 months old child. I've seen babies. They see a book, they turn it upside down, they hold it like they want to read. Maybe they don't know what they want to do, but the fact that the picture there is attractive and they want to have it. What most parents will do, or most teachers will do, is they would collect the book and they would give you an excuse that they don't want the child to tear the book or to misuse the book
Yes.
or to. No, that is not an excuse. As a teacher, let's not even talk about parents now. As a teacher, it is important that you keep your book or you decorate your book in a way that a child cannot easily tear it off. On Monday, I had a private session with a client at the office. So on my way back, I had a visitor, so I needed to go to the market. So I went to the market, I bought some things women will buy for the kitchen. So I realized that when I got home, I saw I saw blood on my book already. I wasn't bothered. I wasn't worried. Why? Because I'm very sure the blood would not spoil my book. Why? Because I folded the books. All the books in that bag that I was carrying, it was folded with newspapers, magazine papers. That is what our parents do for us then. I can remember I went to a government school, but all my books, the moment my dad buys a new textbook for you, then he must fold it. So if a child wants to tear, then it's that newspapers or that magazine paper or calendar that you used to fold the book in that the child would of course mishandle or misuse. So as teachers, there are different ways we could safe guide our books. Now there is a way you could laminate textbooks or even notebooks to avoid them tearing. So when you do things like that, your baby, when he or she holds the book, will not tear or misuse that book. Another thing you need to do for that child is you need to consciously teach the child how to handle books. One of the things they never did for us then was they never taught us how to care for our books. I can remember anytime it's raining when I'm going home, I'm going to use my backpack to cover my head so that the rain doesn't have to touch my uniform. Instead, my bag will be in a mess. And one particular day I got home, my dad got home before me, and he saw that, and my dad was like, what rubbish is this? I can remember when I was in school, if it is raining, I don't even have a backpack. I'm going to put my book under my uniform. I would want to be wet. I don't want my book to be wet. And since that day, that sticks to my head because somehow it's teaching me how to care for books. So, as 21st century teachers, parents, guardians, one of the things we need to consciously teach our children is how to handle books. Some of them don't even know that when you write, you're supposed to write from the front of the book and not the back of the book. As a Muslim, I attended Arabic classes in the afternoon after class, after school. And I can remember when we were writing, then we usually start from the left to the right. But when we were writing in school, we start from the right to the left. I hope I'm right with the right left. But most children don't even know. First day in school, they just write anyhow. As a teacher, why not tell them, oh, this is how to handle books? Before you pick up a book, according to the Montessori approach, before you pick up a book, you wash your hands, you make sure it's clean. You pick up the book like a egg. excuse me, like an egg. You pick it like an egg. Then you open from the front. This is the front, this is the top. You show them every part of that book so that they would know that, okay, a book is also a precious asset, not just anything I can use anyhow. So when you do that for them, you would not have to bother of my child would tear my book, or my child would write rubbish in my book, so I don't want him or her to handle. Because the truth is, the more you collect that book from that 3 years old child, 4 years old child, or 6 months old child, the more you collect it, the more you reduce the love that child is supposed to have for books. So they see it as something that they should not handle. They see it as something that, oh, my mom don't let me handle this, so let me leave it away. But if from cradle, you allow them handle books, you read to them, they see you pick books, you model reading to them, you read aloud to them, then they would love it. And the last one that I would mention is this. In truth, especially for people who lives in this part of the world, Nigeria, or let's say Lagos and some other very busy cities in Nigeria, not many people have that time to read to their children. That is very, very true. For, like myself, I don't have children yet, I'm not married yet, but I don't think I would have that time, even though I know the right thing to read to them. So, but thank God we have things that could help us to curb that barriers. And one of it is audiobooks. If you're watching me, say with me, say audiobooks. Most of us, we've heard of audiobooks before, but maybe not many of us have taken out time to check, to listen to one or two, to see maybe it's enjoyable or not. I can tell you, as a certified audio narrator, audiobooks are same as cartoon. Do you even know that those cartoons that your children watch, it's not those creatures that are speaking. It's someone, a human being like me, that is somewhere behind the scenes speaking. Same thing we do in audiobooks. The difference is that there are no pictures. So if you don't have that time to read to your children, of course, you must find time to model it. There is no shortcut to modeling. You could model by reading your Bibles every night. You could model by reading newspapers every morning. You could even model by reading articles out of your phone, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere every time. Let them see you model. But for reading, if you don't really have that time to read loud to them, I hope I'm not spending too much time on this question.
It's fine. It's fine. You're not spending much time. At least I'm learning.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. I am glad you're learning. I am glad you're learning. So if you don't have time to read aloud to your children or your learners, all you need to do is find books that are written or narrated to suit the interest of young children. Of course, we have age-related books. I don't expect you to pick a biology textbook and read to a 3-month-old child. And I do not expect you to pick a... and also, I do not expect you to pick... Of course! And that child will be wondering in his head, what's happening here? So we should learn to use age-appropriate books and age-appropriate audio books, of course, for our children to listen to. There are lots of platforms where you could get bedtime stories. I don't know, I've read it several times where people listen to bedtime stories. Of course, I've not read it in this African setting. It's always been the Western setting. But of course, we are kind of going Western in some of the things we do. So why can't we also pick this also? Let them listen to bedtime stories, or if you are the very religious type, let them listen to Bible verses via audiobooks. When they listen to it, when they love it, it's even easier for them to master. You know, most times we need to cram our Bible verses, which is wrong. Instead of cramming it, master it. Just like music, the more you listen to a particular music or particular rhythm or verse, the more you know how, or the more it sticks to you. Like me, I'm a lover of music. I'm a lover. My sister would always laugh at me. You don't even know the lyrics that you're singing. Don't worry. By the time I follow the lyrics like 15 times, then believe me, I would have mastered it. Same with audiobooks. If your children could follow the words for some time, before you know it, they master it and they don't have to cram. Thank you. I hope that has answered that
Wow,
question.
wow. Yes, yes. Many people like crime. I don't know why. Like I have a friend in my school. He told me that, well, he was my senior. So he's a
Okay.
genius. He's even an assistant head boy. So he said
Wow.
when he left school 2 years ago, that time he was in school, he made big mistake. The mistake he made was that he was just cramming to pass exam, not to know what he's studying for. He was just cramming to pass exam. And now that you have passed
Hmm.
exam, he got good grades. Everything is good. But now ask him all of those things that they have taught him in school. Thing is not here again.
That's very
Everything I've
true.
just wiped out.
I'm also a witness to that. When I was, remember I said I studied engineering, and then I was actually the best female in my department then, and I could remember after school all the engineering math that I used to teach people. Ask me now, I cannot even remember any of them. Why? Because we're actually focusing on sitting exam and passing instead
Yeah,
of knowing it.
yeah.
So
And
that's
there's
one of the
another thing I learned.
disadvantages of farming.
Another thing I learned is this. Parents do this when they see their children trying to rob the book, like, hey, do you know how much I bought that book? Want to tear the book that I just bought 300 naira, 1,000 naira. You
Exactly.
tear it, your teacher will tell me to bring another one tomorrow. Come on, go and keep that book. You cannot read it now. And they don't know that they don't know what they are
Exactly.
doing. So their whole problem is the money, not the knowledge.
The
Their whole problem is
money.
the money. But the children said they don't know that sometimes when children play with books, sometimes they are even learning, where they are even reading and thinking.
Yeah,
They are learning.
that
They
is
learn
true.
easy, even faster.
That is true.
But some parents don't know this.
They
So
don't know. That is true.
I like what you just said. He said reading to children because I learned something from my one of my mentor, Obon King. He's late now. He
Okay.
said your
Yeah,
children will not. He said your children will not do what you tell them to do. They will do what they see you do.
too. That's a great
So
man, Hubon King. Actually, I knew
ah,
him when he was late. I never heard about him when he was alive. But ever since then, every day YouTube will keep bringing his video to me because I have watched over 20 of his videos. Like over
you
20 of
are
his videos.
you are
Yes.
see
So
below.
he's,
I've
he's
watched
really a
everything.
legend.
He's a
Wow,
legend.
he's a legend. He's still living, even though he's not on earth, he's still living. He's a legend.
Ah,
And that is
that
very
impact is
true.
there. Yeah, he has really made impact. So we are yet to model what he has done, and I will do more.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
man.
that's great. Thank you for that. I really learned. Thank you so much. I know anybody that's watching
You're
this must have
welcome.
learned something. Because many parents don't know. They don't know. When you don't know something,
Exactly.
you not know that is a problem.
Is a
So that's just
problem.
it.
I just hope
So
more parents and more teachers will watch this session again
sure,
so that
they
they
will.
could actually start to adopt some of the things I've mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. The third question will be: which platform or medium will you start using, or have you started to use to help people with reading culture? So I like
Okay,
that.
to cultivate reading culture, I've mentioned modeling, I mentioned arousing their interest, and I mentioned audiobooks. Now I'm going to focus on the audiobook part. Now, for audiobook, I've been doing a lot of audiobooks. In fact, a lot of schools have bought my audiobooks before now. And I also know that for the past 3 years now, every first Thursday of the month of March, which usually is the Word Book Day, I
Yeah.
always do this read aloud session. And most of the times it's always on Instagram. It's always on Instagram. So every time I do read aloud sessions on Instagram for children to come, because most times, even some schools they don't celebrate that day. In fact, I was shocked. On the Lagos State calendar, it wasn't even stated. Lagos State calendar for school, it wasn't stated. And days like that should not be overlooked. There are days where we could help children love book and want to read. Remember the popular saying that they said that if you don't want an African man to know something, then put that thing in a book. Even though that is on a decline, but yes, that's the saying. Even though it's
It's true.
on a decline, but it's very slowly. We could do more to help more people read. We could do more to help more people read. Thank God for my life. At this point of my of life, I try to read every day before I sleep. Every
Wow,
day.
wow.
Every day before I sleep. Why? Because I know I
Consistently.
am on a mission. Yes, every day conveniently. Even when I'm so
Wow.
tired, all I need to do is
Mm.
take my bath, then listen to audiobook. Because the truth is, while you're listening to audiobook, you're actually reading. You're actually
Yes.
reading, especially if the person who narrated the audiobook is very good at what he or she does. Then you will not miss out on any information, any vital information, or any vital knowledge. So that is why I feel I cannot read, or most times when I'm in traffic, I stay in Lagos. And you can imagine when like yesterday I left the island at about, I think, past 7. I got to my house to 11. Why? Traffic. So about 5 hours is wasted on the road. Why should I just waste such precious hours? I could just read. And the fact that most of the audiobooks you could even listen to them without data, without Wi-Fi, without connecting.
Yes.
So even when my phone battery is on 1%, I could still conveniently read. So back to the question now. So I do read aloud session on Instagram every first Thursday of
Sorry.
March in
What's your
celebration.
Instagram handle? Your Instagram handle.
Okay, it's Fluent Diction. Fluent Diction. My Instagram handle is Fluent Diction. While my Facebook
Okay.
handle is Olubukola R.B Agbalaya, my name. That's my Facebook handle. And my
Okay.
LinkedIn
Okay.
handle is also Olubukola R.B Agbalaya. For Twitter, ever since Buhari saga, I've not been able to get back, even though Twitter is back fully now, but I couldn't remember my password, and the mail where they're sending it, it's
Okay.
full already, unable to buy more storage from Gmail. I don't know what's happening. So hopefully I'll be back on Twitter soon. However, for this year's celebration, which will be March 5th, I look forward to launching my podcast. I look forward to launching my podcast, a podcast where you could listen to bedtime stories, as I mentioned earlier. You could listen to Bible verse, Korean verse, but the Korean verse will be in English, not in Arabic now. You know, Bible is already written in English. Korean is
Yeah.
written in Arabic. So I will be using the English Korean. We have translated English Korean. That is what I will be using. Then for the bedtime stories, it would be around all genre of literature. And one thing about the bedtime stories is it's going to come in forms of comprehension, like what your learners or your children does in the classroom. It comes in form of comprehension, and afterwards we'll have glossary where they learn new words, the words used in the content. And afterwards, I would also have a section where they could answer questions orally to test their vocabulary, to test their comprehension, to test their understanding. And funnily, we would also have a platform where you could give feedbacks whether your child was able to understand, or if there's anything you think we're not doing rightly that you feel we should add and would help your children do more or learn more on the podcast, and on and on. So for now, the podcast would be for just children and not for adults, where you could learn Bible verses, Korean verses, and bedtime stories. Of course, the bedtime stories will be full of morals, because I know that in this part of the world, we are very big on morals. We don't joke with our culture, our morals, and of course, our self confidence. So it will surround that. And looking forward, we might be creating a club from the podcast for those that subscribe. But while we are launching, the first 100 persons to join us would be joining for free without subscription. But after the first 100, then you would have to start to subscribe in order to listen monthly. And for the first 100 people, the first month will be a free subscription, no subscription. But subsequently, you would have to subscribe, and the subscription fee is very, very affordable. Now, apart from launching the podcast on March 5th, I'll also be going live on Instagram like I do subsequent years to do a read aloud session to my lovelies. I call them lovelies. And for few people that have always joined, in fact, I have this particular man, he never missed it for the 3 years now. And I look forward to having him there again this year so we could celebrate him for his consistency and his keenness to help his word or his child. He has a baby girl of 6 years to help that child grow by reading. So apart from that, I would also like to be on a national or on international television. Of course, where I am is an international television, and I really appreciate this. But I'd like to do more in order to reach out to more people to be
Yeah.
able to know more about this. So once
Yeah.
again, Mr. Ebube, thank you so very much for making me global, making me go global. Even though I'm in the corner of my room, I am still global. Like, I am so, so grateful for this. And I ask
You're
that
welcome.
the Lord's blessings will never cease in your life. Thank you very much.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Wow, I love everything you are planning, and I pray that God will
Thank
support
you.
you to come to pass. As long as you keep dreaming,
Amen.
anything is possible. So it will come to pass.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amen. Amen.
I saw one of your posts. You have an article to be published for blog concerning this your reading
Yes.
project.
Yes.
Well, when my web designer will be done with my website, so I will ask you for the article, then I'll put it on our blog.
I feel like giving you a big hug. Thank you very much. I feel like giving you a big hug. You have a virtual hug. Thank you very much. Thank you so, so
Thank you.
very
You're
much. Like,
welcome.
thank
Thank you.
you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank
Look,
you. I really appreciate it.
my February goals is just surrounding how to birth more children, more readers. That is what my February goal is. And it's just all of what I've been sharing since morning. And sincerely, you've been one of the very few that have been very, very helpful. Without you and the others, the other two, that it would just be a goal on my paper. Of course, I would make effort, but sometimes when you make effort and nothing is yielding, you can get tired, you can get distracted, and on and on. Thank you so very much for not making this
Yeah.
go die on my paper, on my
Please
journal.
don't
Thank
give
you
up
so
on
very
it.
much.
Don't give up. Don't give
Yes,
up.
I will not. I will
I like
not.
this thing you are doing because it's a movement. It's a movement. I really like it
Yeah,
to reach more people. Community teachers are victim of all this thing I just mentioned.
exactly. Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much,
much.
sir.
I really appreciate it. Okay, this
Thank you, sir.
time I want to sit down very well. Let me balance because I want to learn. This time I saw something you
Okay.
posted. You posted something on Facebook. You said the difference between stood and stood. So I want you to correct those things, that those common error that we make every day. So let us balance that equation here now because even I'm with we say, hey, bring that stood for me. Bring that stood for me. The child said, what? He did not even know that they are telling the wrong thing. Him to go and bring it because you already know that it is stood that they used to call it. So you were saying, okay, the difference between
Exactly.
stood and stood. Stood
Frankly
is a past
speaking.
tense of stand, but why do we use it for
Exactly.
stood as chair? So I want you to give us more ginger like that, more things that
Uh,
we
okay,
smoothly use
okay.
and make
You
us
know,
take every
I
time.
am very happy with this that you're bringing because I can remember when I posted that content, I was actually expecting it to get lots of attraction, lot
Viral,
of
yes.
engagement. Yes, but somehow it didn't. Like, I wouldn't say it didn't, but I wasn't satisfied because at some point I started telling myself, I started asking questions. Am I the only one, or is it only my parents that usually say, go and bring the stool instead of go get the stool? Like, seriously, my father, I can remember anytime we want to dish food for my father, he doesn't use the dining. He likes to just sit anywhere, then put the food on a stool. So I've heard stool over 1,000,001 times in my life. And I actually thought it was that table that has four legs without anything to rest on. That is what I had always thought it was a stool. Until I can't remember what I was looking for. Okay, I was looking for the word at least in the dictionary. Then that was when I saw that really. So we have been mistaken stood and stool. Like you have said, stood means past tense of stand. Why stool? Now, not do at the back, but L, it means that table that has, or a chair, or whatever you call it, that has four legs, but don't have anything behind it to rest your back on. It's a
Yes.
stool. So please stop confusing these children. I made a post sometimes ago that, imagine, my biology teacher taught me amueba. I don't know if you're a biology teacher.
Yes,
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 he
yes,
taught me
yes.
amoeba. Now, I'm very sure 80% of biology teachers, if not 90% or 95, will call that word also amoeba.
However,
But I can remember then when my teacher says amoeba, some of the naughty guys in the classroom will say amufufu.
Okay.
Amueba, amufu. Like seriously, it was.
As
I've
food.
heard that also countless times. Then I learned when I started my journey to elocution that it is amoeba, amoeba, not amueba.
Amoeba.
So now
Amoeba.
imagine 80% of the teachers are saying amueba. And let's say a teacher is teaching, for example, my biology teacher, when we were in school then, in my class SS1, we were about 56, if not more than. So the 56 of us was taught amueba. So every other biology teacher also teaches 56 learners or students amueba, amueba. Before you know it, everybody starts saying amueba, amufufu, amuamala. And when in truth, we're supposed to say amoeba. So while we are learning or while we are helping our children to learn, it is of course important that they pronounce the words well. And not just pronunciation now, even their vocabulary. It is very important we use the right vocabulary. It was 2 days ago or 3 days ago, my sister was saying, I can't remember the sentence again, but the person used the word at least to mean something more. And in actual fact, at least is used to reduce the effect of a sentence. So, for example, I would say, I met President Ebube Collins yesterday. At least he gave me a handshake. At least he gave me a handshake. He didn't hug me. It wasn't like he gave me an appointment, but at least I am glad that he gave me a handshake. It is just to reduce that effect. Because if I told you I met President Ebube Collins yesterday, you'd be like, wow, you know how Nigerians be now. Oh, me levels don't change, stuff like that. But because I want to reduce the effect of that sentence, I don't want to give you high hopes that is not really there, then I could say, at least he gave me a handshake. At least doesn't mean something out of this word. It is used to reduce. So even our vocabulary sometimes, just like stool and stood, we misuse them. They are not the same. Then talking about grammar, wow. Nigerians, we need to do better, especially in terms of grammar and pronunciation. Let me tell you, according to I can't remember Mazieze on Facebook, he started a movement some years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, talking about the lies in grammar teacher taught us in school. Lies grammar teacher taught us in school, yes. And the bit to tell us that this is wrong, that is wrong, they told us some lies also. One of it is this: they will tell us not to say sit down. I don't know if you have heard that before. Countless times I've heard people tell me it is wrong to say sit down, because when you're sitting, you're actually going down, and that is wrong. It's not wrong. Sit down is not wrong. Sit down is a phrasal verb. Another thing is they will tell us it's wrong to say drinkable water. I don't know if you've heard that before. There is
I've
nothing
heard.
wrong. Yes, they
So,
say it's wrong to
so
say drinkable water.
this water is not drinkable.
It's wrong. Drinkable, a word drinkable exists. You can say drinkable water. You can also say drinking water. It is right. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people would also say that it is wrong for you to say, I can't remember that one right now. Okay, I'll still come back to it. Now let's go to grammar now. One of the things I hear people also say is, correct me if I am wrong. For example, you make a post and someone comes to your comment section to tell you, no, blah, 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 blah. Okay, correct me if I am wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, please say, I stand corrected. Instead of saying, correct me if I am wrong, please say, I stand corrected. That means, okay, I have heard my opinion. However, if there is a correction to this, I am open to hearing it. I stand corrected. Now I have remembered that's what I forgot. It is, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Yes. In fact, someone tagged me to a post, I think it was last month, that I beg to differ. Why is the person begging to differ when he had already differ? Yes, you can use that expression, I beg to differ. It means I disagree. It's not wrong. So you can say, Fern, I beg to differ. Very okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you have been saying it, you're correct. If anyone tells you it's wrong, don't mind them. Another one people say is even though. They will tell you never use even and though together. Who told you that? Those are lies. There's nothing wrong with, even in the Oxford Dictionary. I have checked. In fact, there was a day I made a post and someone came to my comment section and said, I can't believe, in our tone, she sounded like this, I can't believe you that you're teaching us the right way to speak. You're still the one making this great error. Shame on you. In our
Ah,
tone, that was what it sounded like. I had to run back to my Oxford Dictionary, my Cambridge Dictionary, and my Longman Dictionary, and I
ah,
confirmed that, even though, yes, I just want to be sure. Because sometimes people make you feel
yes.
less of yourself. I had to double check. I had to be sure before I replied her, and I said to her, Madam, please consult your dictionary before you say things like this henceforth. Even though there is nothing wrong with it, it's right in the dictionary, even though it's correct. So we have lots and lots of expressions like that that people had lied to us about, telling us it is wrong. So what I would leave, or what I would say is, whether it is vocabulary, pronunciation, or grammar, if you are using anything and someone is telling you it's not right, please confirm from your dictionary. I call the dictionary the English Bible. When you
Hmm.
go to the mosque and someone tells you, oh, it's not good to add attachments on your hair, you will go to hellfire. Or you go to church, they say the same thing. Please consult your Bible. Where exactly is this stated? Before you argue. Because most times those people that are even correcting us, they're not even sure. They just heard it from someone and they also pick it up and
Yes.
they
And they
turn
follow.
themselves into grammar police, diction police, or whatever police, and they start arresting people here and there. So please, sincerely, now let's go to pronunciations. When it comes to pronunciation, there are lots of words we mispronounce, but I will just give you, let's say, five of it. And the first word that I will talk about, I think I already said amoeba earlier. It's not
Yeah.
amoeba, it's amoeba. Now, the next that I will talk about is, it's not cupboard, it's cupboard. Cupboard,
Okay.
not cupboard. Cupboard, cupboard, cupboard. We also have deposit. I'm going to the bank to deposit some money. No, you're not depositing. You are depositing. Deposit. You want to
Deposit.
deposit. Yes,
Over
deposit.
100 people say deposit every day in bank.
Exactly. One of the reasons why one of the reasons why my account officer liked me so much till date is the first time we met, I used the word deposit, and that alone caught his interest. And I was like, "Ooh, did you study in Ghana or somewhere?" I said, "No, I studied in Nigeria." At that point, I never even knew he was my account officer, but the interest was already there. There was something he already loved about me. And at that point where I knew he was my account officer and I needed help, he was willing to help because the attraction was there already. So the truth is, you're speaking, whether you're a lady or a man or professional or parent, whatever you are, your speaking will take you places. That is the
Yes.
truth. Apart from your dressing, the next thing people notice about you is your speaking. And that starts from your breath. Do you have bad odor? The words coming out, how are they coming out? Are they coming out well or are they coming out anyhow? I would always tell my learners when I walk into their class, I'll say, good morning, everybody. They'll be like, good morning, everyone. They'll be like, I love this. Now, very good. I would now tell them, this is how you sound also. When you meet someone and you're just saying good morning, good morning. No, it's not good morning, it's good morning. Good
Good morning.
morning. Good
God
morning.
morning. Am I getting
Yes,
it? God
good.
morning.
Good. Oh, good morning. Yes, you are. Yes,
God.
you are. As
Okay.
Nigerians, we are too lazy. Even about our speech, we are lazy, and that is not good enough. So the third
Oh,
word that I will be pronouncing is the word the device we use every day. It's phone. Phone. Not phone. Phone. My telephone.
my
Telephone,
telephone.
phone,
Telephone.
phone. Yes, where's
Phone.
my phone? Phone. Watch my mouth movement. Phone.
Hey.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
Hey.
Phone. Phone.
Hey.
Where is my phone?
Hey.
Yes. phone,
Phone.
exactly. And
Getting my phone.
the next is policeman. Policeman, not policeman. Police. If you're in Lagos, almost every day you're going to see them on the road and you might even have encounter with them. So you need to know how to pronounce their name. It's policeman, not policeman. Policeman. Alasukome is
Policeman.
laughing here. Alasukome Mercy,
Wow.
thank you for
Well,
joining. I'm glad you're learning. So it's police phone, not police phone. Sorry, policeman rather, not
policeman.
policeman. Yes, yes. And the
Policeman.
last
Policeman.
word, exactly, policeman.
Allah soup
Allah-
from me mercy. God, I need to collect my money from GST teacher. Oh.
Sincerely, if we think about it, we need to, but
You see?
in truth, it's not their fault. You know, there is this saying
Yeah.
that says, what you don't have, you cannot give. And that is
Yes.
just the truth. It's something that cuts across all aspects of life. As a parent, if you don't have good character, good morals, you can give your children. As teachers, if you don't have good etiquette, you cannot give your children. So as humans, it's not all about ourselves now. It's about what we have in the inside. So for all the GST teachers, the GNS teachers, the English teachers, or whatever it is they call them in your institution or your areas of institution, what I would just say is, please let's not stop learning. Please let's not stop learning. Every day, I take it upon myself to read and to learn a word, a new word every day. In fact, I belong to a club on WhatsApp where every week we have new words, how to use it, how to pronounce it, how to use it in tenses, the if it has past tense or not. Sometimes we go as far as learning the history. So we
I would
shouldn't
like to
just
join that.
don't just
I would
say
like to join your club. Oh. I want to
that's
join you.
fine.
Which I
No,
want to learn.
I'm not the facilitator. I'm just a member also. But I would
Okay.
ask the owner of the club to add you. So we shouldn't
Okay.
just stay somewhere and just say, "Oh, I'm already an English teacher. There is nothing I want to
Okay.
learn." In fact, let me burst your bubbles, like we usually say. Most English teachers, they see allocutionists or diction instructors as threats. So instead of learning from them, they compete with them. And the truth is, we are
Uh.
not doing the same thing. As a diction
Yes.
teacher, not all diction teachers can occupy the space of an English teacher. And in truth, also, not all English teachers or lecturers can occupy the space of an, oh, sorry, of a diction teacher. So please, it's we should, as English teachers or diction teachers, we should be open to learning. Like I just talked about grammar lies we were told in school. Of course, there are pronunciation lies too, like the Amueba and co. So please, Mercy, don't go collect your money back from your GST teacher. I just hope I just hope he or she knows the right thing and start to improve henceforth. There is nothing, I can say it again, there is nothing like personal development. Because even when money finishes, the development you have in you will help you earn more money. I was talking to my sister yesterday. I said sometimes when I want to spend the last kobo in my account or on me, I don't really feel bad about it because I know I have something people are willing to pay for. In the next few
Yeah.
hours, someone would reach out and pay, even if it is as low as 10,000. Someone would pay for it. So we should stop hiding our money in banks. Please bank
Mm.
them on your development, on your learnings, knowledge, wisdom. That is the sure pass.
Mm. Wow. Do you know the reason why I came to this place? It's because of this thing. Look at this thing. Cathy, I watched one video you posted when one mother and child. They were, you know that video you posted on Facebook? That was why I came to this place. I don't want to pronounce it for myself. I said, let me come and show you. So you see it. There was a thing. You get the mom, it's not cutting. It's
Yeah, it's curtain. I remember. It was a
That was why I
TikTok
just left
video.
that place. I come to this place. So I will show you.
It was
I
a
don't want to
TikTok
pronounce it. Maybe I will not
video.
even get the pronunciation.
It's curtain, curtain, not cotton.
Yes. You
Cotton
see?
could be cotton wool, but this is curtain, not cotton. There are lots of words that we are mispronouncing. In the house now, we have words like television. People will say television. It's television.
Tell me.
Television. Television. We have radio, not radio. It's radio. It has three syllables.
Yoruba tongue is there.
Radio. Exactly, not radio. It's not two syllables. Then we have stool, as we have learned, not stood anymore. Then, of course, we have different types of chairs. We have sofa, we have cushion, and eater seat. Not all of them should be called chair or chair, as we call it.
Okay. The spelling of this two. You know, some people will not still get the spellings. Two is Stool. Then stool is Stood. So I just have to
Exactly, exactly. Thank you for the spelling. Thank you for the spelling.
Mercy, what's the comment we told you? She's even saying that she wants to join me on the WhatsApp club.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Madam
Don't worry,
Mercy,
if I
thank you
join,
very
me too,
much
I will.
for
Don't worry, if I
that's
join Mercy,
fine.
then you will join. Thank you so
Okay.
much,
I guess I
sister.
want to appreciate Mercy for joining us. At least she's making the whole thing not just me and you now, but at least we
Yeah.
have other people. Thank you very much. I know some other people are watching, they're not just leaving comments. And I know a whole lot of people would see the replay and leave their
Sure,
comment too.
sure.
I'm glad I
Thank you
did
so much.
this.
I'm also happy that you are here. I'm learning. You know,
Thank you,
don't worry,
sir.
I will come. Oh, you will teach me. Oh. This is my third. You know, I'm a public speaker, so I need to brush myself up. So anywhere I go, when I talk,
Exactly.
even your talking, your communication skill will bring people to you. Like, I like hearing your voice. I like listening
Exactly.
to you.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I need more
Yesterday,
training.
exactly. Yesterday I was at the market and a woman was selling, I don't know what she was selling. Was it pure water or something? And the way she said it, I told my sister, I said, that woman has a very good voice. She actually said it in Yoruba, but there was something about her voice. And I said to my sister, I said, wow, this woman, she has a very good voice, sweet voice. So your voice, your diction, your pronunciation is one thing that could draw people to you. Whether you're an entrepreneur, public speaker, whatever, pastor, anything you are,
Anything,
you
as long
will
as you can
talk.
talk. As long as you can
Yes,
talk.
exactly. That's it.
You
As
need
long
it.
as you can talk. As long as
Thank
you
you
can
so
talk.
much. Thank you so much,
Yes,
man. Thank you
please.
so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Wow.
Yes,
Thank you so
sir.
much.
Yes. I think
Thank
Mother
you.
Mercy is asking a question.
Is it market or market, man?
Okay. The word is market. Please watch my
Okay.
mouth. Market.
Ma,
Market. Yes. The word
market.
has two syllables. The first syllable has a long vowel sound. Ma. Not ma,
Ma,
but ma. The second
ma,
syllable, the vowel there, the letter E vowel there, makes the sound E. K. E. T. Kate. K. E.
market.
T. Kate. Market. Not
Market.
market or market. Market.
Market.
Now, another thing is when you were asking your question, is it market or market, ma'am? When you're talking to a woman
Yes.
that is not
Yes.
your mother, you use the word ma'am. It's spelled M-A apostrophe A-M or madam. Ma, M-A, is a special word for your mother. You should use that word ma only when you're referring to your mother. But when you're referring to any other woman out there, please use ma'am or madam. Now, grammatically, when you're writing that sentence, you should say, is it, the first is should be capital letter, remember? Is it market or market, comma, before the ma'am? There should be a comma before the ma'am. When you're talking to someone, when you're addressing someone, there should always be a comma before that person's title or name. For example, if I'm saying, how are you, sir? How are you, comma, then my sir, then my question mark. How are you, Mr. Collins? How are
I
you,
wow.
comma, Mr. Collins, then my question mark. I'm just
Yeah.
doing justice
Yeah.
because
Let's
that's why I'm
just make me
here.
remember
I
something.
apologize.
Now, sorry, is it bucket or bucket? Bucket or bucket?
Okay, just like we learned market, it's bucket, bucket,
Bucket.
bucket. Yes, words that ends in KET. Most words that ends in KET or PET. Of course, those that are two-syllable words. Most two-syllable words that ends in KET or PET sounds it, carpet, market, bucket, pocket, jacket, and so many other words. So it's Kate,
Wow.
Kate, Kate, bucket.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. I
Yes,
saw one
please.
comment now. Arize, she said
Okay.
something. Arize. Hello, ma. Okay, hello. I want to join WhatsApp club and first 100 to be in your program. Yes. I also want to be your, not only Arize, face it, comma. You two, I'll be part of it too.
Okay, that's interesting. For the WhatsApp club, like I've said, I'm not the anchor. It's
No,
not
no,
my club.
no, not even that one. She's even talking about the 100 people, first people in your program.
Okay then,
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to send you a link. How do I send the
Okay,
link
send it to
now?
me.
Should I send
Send,
it to you, sir? Where you could just join the wait list. So once you
okay,
join the
send it
wait
to
list,
me.
you're going to get
I
all
will
other
paste on the comment.
information. Okay, sir. You're going to get all other information that would help you to join the first 100 people to get free subscription to the podcast for children.
Wow, wow. I'm happy for you. I would like to do more with you. Thank you so much. Mercy said, I want to go and gather all my SSC past questions. I think I don't get to answer them well. Wow,
And
wow.
little things like this is why you see that most people. I remember the first time I wrote YSSCE, I actually had F9 in my English. I had F9, and that's why you see people with B3 chemistry, C4 accounting, and on and on. Then when it comes to English, you see E8, F9, and people will be wondering, is it not the same English you speak every day? Is it not the same English the teachers in class? Yes, I remember when I was in secondary school, I don't read English because I feel it is so simple, very simple. Until I started this journey, then I knew that God, even those that are marking our English scripts. I wanted to write an exam 2 days. Was it 2 days ago? I was telling my sister that I'm confused. I don't know whether I should write what I know. I should write what my English teacher taught me. Because my sister said if you write what you know, you're going to get 0/100. Because your teacher will feel you know more than him. And remember all of those lies we were taught in school. So English is just, should I say, it's not a logical language, and coupled with the fact that it's not our language, so it's also kind of difficult for us to go about it rightly.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're about to end the live video. So if you're watching now, remember to subscribe to this channel if you want to get more content like this on this channel. I might even bring Sister Olubukola another time. Because I even okay, ma, if you have more activity that I want to do, just let me know if you want to use my platform. I'm free to
Okay.
anytime. You are welcome anytime.
Thank you
Even by the
very
time,
much.
even by the time I'll have studio, because I mean it's money shall. God shall let us have
The
money.
Lord is
By
our
the time I have big
strength.
studio, when I have the main big studio, anytime you are free to come for
So
free anytime.
we are the VVIP.
As long as you started with me now, I'm in the level one from scratch. So when I get to that pinnacle, that to the peak, if you want to come, it's free. So I believe I'll get
The
it.
Lord is your
So
strength, sir. What we're going to
amen.
support your ministry with prayers and, of course, with every other things we could do on social media to attract the right people that could help. Because, of course, there's a difference between having this pool of followers and having the right people that could really help
Yeah,
us. The Lord is your strength, sir.
amen. Thank you so much, man.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
bye bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
I've
Thanks very
learned
much for
wonderful things.
having
Thank you.
me.
Thank you,
I am glad you
Mercy
have learned.
Arisi. Thank you so much for joining. So I have another guest now. He's already leaving my
Okay,
message. I want to interview my
thank
next
you very
guest.
much.
All right,
Okay, so
thank
I'll
you.
leave now. To all my
Yeah,
viewers, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And please subscribe to these channels.
yeah.
Lots of
You can come back
educational
on the
and of course
review, the video,
fun.
the replay is there.
Okay
Anybody
then.
can
So
watch the
thank you,
replay. You can
sir.
tell them to come
I'll
watch
leave
the video.
now.
Thank you. All right,
Yes,
thank you.
sir.
All right, bye.